Hey guys, what's up? It's Samantha, and today I'm going to be memory keeping the week of April 11th through the 17th. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is not my favorite Plan With Me I've ever filmed. I am having a bit of a lupus flare-up, and I was trying to film this really fast, and I made mistakes. I screwed up a bunch of stuff. My brain is also just melting out of my ears, and brain fog is a big component of my lupus flares for me, and I definitely forgot to do several things for this Plan With Me. I forgot that I've been filling stuff out as I went along until I was a few days into this, so then I go back and fill it out and then fill it out as I go along for the rest of it. So I do apologize for that because I know a lot of you have been requesting that I do that, and I've been doing that for the last few videos. But yeah, I'm just a dumpster fire of a human being right now. So we're going to get through this together. I screw up my sidebar and I really struggled to get everything straight. I had to undo it several times. I just could not seem to get anything down in a straight line. So, you know, it happens. This was the week of Easter, and this kit isn't explicitly an Easter kit, but it kind of has Easter vibes. I pulled in the Bunny Peep Washi from Simply Gilded and the Lavender Hollow Candy Foil Bundle from Scribble Prints Co., just to kind of make it a little more like Easter candy-ish. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the 3 books I read this week. 2 of them were fantasy novellas, and one was kind of a cozy mystery romance book. So the first 2 novellas I read were a Spindle, Splintered, and A Mirror Mended by Alix E. Harrow. A Mirror Mended is an arc, and I will have the release date for that up on screen with the cover. But these are sort of twisted fairy tale retellings. They're very meta. So if you don't like meta humor or self-referential humor, breaking the fourth wall, these are not going to be for you, but I think they're really fun. I have academically studied fairy tales. I've taken classes about like the academic study of fairy tales, and this very much caters to that. Our main character is basically a Sleeping Beauty archetype. She has an incurable heart disease, and she has basically been cursed to die by her 21st birthday, that no one who has this disease has lived past 21, and as she is approaching her 21st birthday, her friend basically throws her a Sleeping Beauty themed party, and she jokingly pricks her finger on the spinning wheel and finds herself kind of teleported into a similar, like another Sleeping Beauty story. And there's like a metaverse and all of these different like versions and retellings of Sleeping Beauty and how different fairy tales overlap. And I really like these. They are really fun. They're very feminist, and I think they're a good time. I've been in a big reading slump, especially towards the end of April. I really struggled to get through anything, and I knew I had this arc. I knew they were short and easy to get through, so I reread the first one and then read my arc, and both of these are solid 4-star reads. They're not all-time favorites, but they're always a good time, and I really, really enjoy them while I'm reading them. And then the last book that I finished this week was 4 Aunties and a Wedding by Jessie Q. Sutanto, and this is a sequel to Dial A for Aunties, and we are following the main character from the first book, who is a wedding photographer, in her own wedding. So she's getting married, and of course her aunts and her mom are up to their hijinks again. They get themselves into trouble, and then there's sort of this madcap adventure during the wedding where there's just misunderstandings and hijinks and really, really funny laugh out loud situations. This is, again, I'm being vague because I don't want to spoil the first book, but it's very, very funny, and you know, I really enjoy the humor in these books. I rated this one 3 stars, and I didn't like it quite as much as I liked Dial A for Aunties. This was a little harder for me to suspend my disbelief. It was pretty, there were some of the situations were just very out there and like a little too much for me, but it was still really funny. I still laughed out loud multiple times while reading this book, and I still liked it. I will definitely be picking up the next book in this series. They are very short, easy, fun, fast reads, and definitely like a fun kind of cozy mystery, humor, comedy book with a little bit of romance in it. Just a light, fun, breezy read, and something that I would definitely recommend if you're in a slump, you want to laugh, you want something to read by the pool. That is exactly what this book is for. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this week. I got through putting down stickers and then realized when I got to this point that I had forgotten to fill out this week, and I tried to be better about making sure the camera was focusing on the paper and not my hand. I have issues sometimes with my autofocus. We'll see my hand moving, so I have to manually tap what part of the paper I want it to focus on. So on Monday morning, I did laundry first thing, got that started, and then I had my coffee and did my crossword. I was just feeling really stressed and down. If you watched my previous video, you know that there was a bit of a struggle for me to get a needed tax document where I couldn't access my account because my account had been closed, and I was just going in circles talking to customer service people, trying to get this figured out. So I was on with the HSA people for several hours this day, and then I listened to my audiobook and played games. I believe this is when I was listening to a Spindle Splintered. I can't talk. And then I played in my planner a little bit and then poured myself some wine. Definitely needed wine after being on hold with the HSA people for hours, and then watched YouTube. And then Joe and I played balloons, and I was having really bad allergies on Monday night. This happens for a week or two in the spring and a week or two in the fall, where I just get really, really sneezy when the seasons change. So was not feeling that. Tuesday morning, woke up and did more laundry and cleaned. And then I made granola, and I basically just read the entire day. I finished a mirror Mended, and then I started for Aunties and a wedding. And then Joe and I had a drink when he came home from work. We sat out on the patio, had a drink, talked, just chilled, and that was pretty much my entire day. And then Wednesday, I woke up, had my coffee, and did my crossword puzzle, and then I had to deal with the HSA people yet again, and I was very stressed out about it. When I get anxious, I have stomach problems, and I was definitely experiencing that this week, which not fun at all. And then I played some balloons to just chill out, and it was raining outside, and I do remember I was reading for Aunties and a wedding on this day. I went outside and just enjoyed listening to the rain, and it was really warm out, and just read my book, felt zen, and I was just really burnt out, really tired. Joe came out on the patio with me later on Wednesday, and then we went inside and played balloons. Should have spaced that day out a little bit better, but I did not have it in me to white things out and move things around, so I just left that little white space at the bottom, so oh well. And then on Thursday, I woke up, I had my coffee and did my crossword. And then I needed to talk to my realtor because there were issues with the house. This has literally been such a nightmare. I'm so ready to be in our house. I'm so ready for this to be over. It's probably not going to be until July at this point, which is really annoying, but we'll get there eventually. And then I finally got my tax documents. They overnighted a thing, a card to me to, they gave me a card for a closed account so that I needed a card number to create an account to get my tax documents, and I didn't have a card anymore. So they sent me a new card so I could create an account for a closed account. It was such a nightmare, but I was able to do my taxes, and I talked to my dad to make sure that I had done a couple of things correctly because we moved and the local taxes are a little different here than they were where I used to live. And I just wanted to make sure because we actually live where I went to high school. So my dad has also had to pay these local taxes, and they're a pain in the butt. And he's mentioned that they're a pain in the butt. So I called him to make sure that I did everything correctly because he did it for the 10 years we lived here. Or they lived here. I was in college for half that time. But I was absolutely exhausted, like 3,010% exhausted. And Joe came home and we had like a happy hour shower. We do this like every once in a while where we like take a drink. I have like the Kapow lids for mason jars, and so I'll take like wine with like in a mason jar with a sippy cup lid, and Joe will have like a White Claw or a beer or something, and we just like hang out in the shower and talk, and it's very relaxing. So yeah, we had a wine shower. And then Joe went and got me McDonald's because McDonald's is my love language. And then I read. And then this night I was like, what else can go wrong this week? And then the blinds in our apartment broke, and it took like an hour to get them to come down. Like one of the strings snapped and then got super tangled up. And so it was like holding half of the blinds like crooked up, and we like couldn't get them down. I had to like untie all of like the knots and like the two cords that were like the two strings had been tied together many, many times by like the previous people who lived here. It took forever to untie them, to like pull out the ripped cord to get the blinds to be able to come down, and they're still broken. They had to order new blinds and they haven't been able to install them yet. I don't think they've come in. It was just like one more thing on top of like my car being broken and the like HSA thing and dealing with the stuff with the house. And then it's like, and the blinds broke. And I'm like, great, fun. Like obviously not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but it was just like one more stressor. So then on Friday, I just like woke up, had my coffee, chilled out. And then I talked to my brother and did laundry and played balloons. I just had a really chill day. I went outside and read on the patio. I believe I was reading Mended. I can't remember what I was reading, but I do remember going outside and reading on the patio. And then I placed an Ulta order online. I wanted to get some like new eyeliner and also try out the like the lash serum that you like brush on your lash line that like makes your lashes grow longer and like darker and thicker, because I have like lost a lot of my eyelashes and stuff from I think like lupus things, but my eyelashes are way thinner and shorter and stumpier than they used to be. So I've been using it now for almost a month and I feel like I'm already seeing a difference. So I'm glad I ordered that. But then Joe and I like hung out on the patio, and then I watched YouTube, and then we had a movie night and we watched The Hating Game. And I believe Joe's take on the movie was at least American Psycho was honest about what it was. Like, I genuinely think if you would just change the music in 3/4 of the scenes, it was like a thriller movie. It was creepy and not romantic, and Joe and I were just like laughing hysterically. I actually bought the book at Target a while ago, and now I'm like, I don't know if I want to read this because it was so unhinged. But yeah, I did not like the movie. I thought it was pretty bad. It was just not good. It was really cringy, and there was no chemistry between the two leads. So do not recommend. It was a bad time. And this is why I don't watch movies. So then Saturday I woke up, had coffee, and did like a crossword, my crossword puzzle, and then I listened to my audiobook and played games and just had like a really lazy afternoon. And then I had to make 2 batches of rolls for our like Easter lunch the next day because we had a bunch of people, like not at our house, but I was taking them to my mom's house. And I also made risotto for, Joe and I to eat for dinner. And I was on my feet, like cooking and baking for several hours, and I was absolutely exhausted. I was so tired, and I still needed to like get on the Peloton, and I did it. I got on the Peloton, but I was like absolutely knackered. I was so tired. And then Joe and I played balloons, and I watched YouTube. And then this happens sometimes when I get like really, really tired. I get too tired to go to bed, which doesn't even make sense, but I just get like really tired and I procrastinate going to bed and I stayed up too late. So that was dumb. And then Sunday, of course, I was very tired, and Joe went and got me Taco Bell breakfast, which I love Taco Bell breakfast. It's like my favorite fast food thing. And then I used the Easter dinner script from like a holiday sampler from Scribble Prince Co., but it was Easter lunch, but it was like our big meal for Easter. And then we took a bunch of family photos. I said take photos with the Easter bunny, but I just, again, used that because it was on the sampler, but we just took a bunch of family photos with my baby nephew. And then I came home and just chilled out, and I went to bed super early because I was exhausted. And yeah, I have basically just been tired for a month, and even when I get a ton of sleep, I wake up exhausted, which is usually pretty telling that like fatigue is usually the first thing to hit me with a lupus flare, and it's also like the last thing to go. So it's usually like fatigue, and then like the joint pain and like the brain fog and stuff like starts afterwards. But yeah, I've basically just been absolutely exhausted for over a month at this point. So I don't know why I'm surprised that then I started having joint pain. But yeah, this is the finished spread, guys. I like it. Not my favorite plan with me I've ever done, but I did it. It's done. I do apologize this video is going up a day late, but it is going up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye, guys.